Have you ever prayed, God, please show me the way, and then nothing? And you wake up to another ordinary day, still waiting, still wondering. Friend, what if it's not God ignoring you, but that He's building you differently than you expected and in ways that you didn't see coming? Today, through scripture, personal story, and coaching insight, we are going to tackle how to know God is strategically shaping the life you've been asking for, even when it feels like He is silent. Hi, friend. I'm Emily, your certified Christian life coach and business mentor, and I help Christians like you build lives of purpose, peace, and alignment with God, not through hustle, but through stewardship. So if you've ever stood at that intersection of frustration and faith, praying for something to shift, but waking up to the same messy reality, this episode is for you. So hit subscribe so we can stay connected and stick with me, because this is not just about giving you encouragement, but sharing a spiritual framework to reframe what feels like waiting into what might actually be alignment. I have been where you are, praying, journaling, asking God for clarity, and still feeling stuck, still feeling ordinary and overwhelmed at the same time. There was a season when I wanted God to break open my purpose, but I was barely holding together my days as a mom. And I wondered, did God forget my dreams? Am I just destined to stay stuck like this? Is this all there is? And God wasn't silent. He was building something in me before He built something through me. That's when I realized God is never slow, but He is strategic. Psalm 27:14 says, "Wait for the Lord, be strong and take heart, and wait for the Lord." He says wait twice. Waiting isn't passive, it is preparation. Let's look at David. David was anointed king as a teenager, but he didn't wear that crown until almost 2 decades later. Instead, during that time, he got more sheep to steward, a giant with a sword to battle, a king who wanted to kill him, caves, hiding, and wilderness. And yet those years shaped him. David learned leadership, resilience, and discernment, not in the palace, but in what seemed like obscurity. 1 Samuel 16-2 and 2 Samuel 5 maps this journey. David wasn't waiting for a throne. He was becoming the kind of person who could bear the weight of it. Maybe that's you. Maybe the delay isn't a no, it's a not yet, because there's still strengthening to do. If you've been asking, why is this taking so long, then stay with me, because in the next few minutes, I'm going to show you the one shift that turned my waiting season into a building season. When I coach others, especially those with big dreams or business ideas, I hear all the time, I'm called to more, but I don't have time. I want to start, but life is too chaotic. I'm praying for growth, but I'm so overwhelmed and nothing is changing. Here is what I've learned and what I've shared with others. We can't build a life of impact on a foundation of disorder. 1 Corinthians 14:33 says, "For God is not a God of disorder, but of peace." Before God blesses something, He brings order to it. Alignment looks like saying no to good things to say yes to God things. Structuring your days to reflect the life that you're praying for. Taking action on the vision God has already gave you before asking for more of it. Because what you're calling a delay might actually be a divine invitation to align. So for me, that shift came when I realized God wasn't going to drop a perfectly built life in my lap. He was inviting me to co-labor. I started using digital marketing, not because I wanted to be online and be some mega influencer, but because it gave me a vehicle to steward my gifts, serve others, and still be present with my family. It wasn't about adding more, but it was about reordering what actually mattered to me and what I felt like God was calling me to do. And the fruit of that was a business built on mission, time with my kids without guilt, and a life that felt more whole and not hurried or spread too thin. Here's the 3 ways that you can start building alignment today. Number 1, clarify the priorities. What are your top 3 God-given priorities in this season? Is it family, faith, health? Name them out. Don't build beyond what you're called to carry right now in this season. This is how we avoid burnout and can withstand and endure what is coming our way. Number 2 is create room for God to move. Set boundaries, prune distractions, block time for rest, reflection, and action. God doesn't bless our hustle. He blesses our obedience. Inventory your day, inventory your life. Is there even any room you're giving God to work in? I realized that I was packing my days with so many things that while they were fun or while they were necessary, some of those things weren't what I needed right now to spend time doing. And so I really had to navigate what matters most in this season I'm in. How can I give God room to actually move in my life? We are so used to packing our days, being distracted, and saying yes to everything this world wants us to be distracted by. So we really have to be intentional with our time because it's precious and we only get so much of it. Number 3 is act on what you already know. What's the one thing that you've been delaying? You know it in your heart and in your gut. Start there. You don't need a full blueprint and A to Z plan to be obedient. Proverbs 16:9 says, "In their hearts humans plan their course, but the Lord establishes their steps." How true that is. How many times I've white-knuckled my own ambition and my own goals to see it fall apart and not come to fruition simply because I was not aligned with the Lord. I wasn't stewarding what He gave me for the time that I was in now, and I wasn't taking action on what my gut was telling me I needed to do. So let Him establish your steps and your choices in your day-to-day life. Imagine waking up knowing your life reflects your faith, not just in belief, but actually in practice. Imagine building something that blesses others, supports your family, and honors the season that you're actually living out right now. Today is the day that you are alive. Today is the day that you are living. So imagine you're not spinning circles anymore, but building step by step in peace and contentment. So that's possible for you. And it's not someday, it's right now. You can start living that way now. So if this message stirred in you, comment below and tell me what's one thing that you've been asking God to build in your life today. And if you want strategy, spiritual guidance to move from that overwhelm to align, then I want to invite you into the Bold Life Collective. This is our free community group where we align faith with practical steps. So you're not just dreaming, but you're actually taking action. And you can find the link to that community in the show notes below this episode. And if you like an alignment tool workbook that you can use to take what we've talked about today and really implement strategies and have step-by-step way in which to make sure you're aligned with the Lord, then I want to encourage you to consider subscribing to my Substack using the link below this episode. It's a specific link that will allow you to grab that tool for free if you are a subscriber. So remember, do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. That's from Romans 12:2. I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.